This is a review of the FleetBold Smart Window Lockbox, and it is aimed at Turo host and car sharing host in general. And I've purchased this with my own money and later figured out that this company sells other products and that they have an online portal which is aimed at making Teslas and other vehicles easy to integrate and unlock. And I don't know a lot about this company at this point, but I'm excited and I really do hope that they make it because they have a lot of cool physical products and software products that would make Turo hosting easier and more efficient. But for now, we're going to go with their hardware, which is this smart window box. So out of the bat, you have this nicely branded bag and everything feels good. You have a website and the social media icons. So let's get into it. So first, I'm not sure if this is something that is coming with new hosts who are using FleetBold or if this is part of their promotional pack. So I'm not really sure what this is, but this is the extension cord and Y splitter for OBD trackers so you can hide the tracker under the dash without showing that you have a tracker sticking out of the OBD port. And let's move on to the actual Smart Lockbox itself. Alright, so nicely branded box. Looks like they have their quick setup guide and just the general information that you would find on a product. So this looks really nice. Again, don't know a whole lot about this company, but it looks pretty nice, and from what I understand, this is not their product, it's white label, but we will get into that and see. Okay, so let's get into actually unboxing the product. So first we have our setup guide, and it looks like some demos. I will take a look at that later, but for now, let's open the box up. So looks like we got our quick start guide. So we'll get to that later, but for now, do the hardware. So it looks like we got a USB cable. I'm wondering if this is for backup power because I'm pretty sure that this is powered by either AAA or AA batteries. Okay, and it looks like your standard wall mount kit for the lockbox. Alright, and on to the main event. Okay, so they ship it nicely protected, which is nice. Alright, so there's the first look at it. You know, it feels pretty nice. Like there's a couple parts of it that feel like, you know, a typical lockbox, but the construction and the look of it's pretty nice. This will be good for my Turo operations in Washington, which does get snow, and we do get a rainy season, so it'll be nice that this is protected. You know, quality feels pretty good. So I will get this powered up and take a quick look at the instructions and see how we set things up. For now, I have the power plugged in via the USB-C before I get the batteries into the unit. So right now we're just running off USB power to do a first look. So according to their instruction guide, there is a factory mode that this comes in, and that code is 123456. So let's do that and take a quick look at it before getting the app ready and binding the lockbox to the app. All right, so I like the lights. A little unsure about that clicking sound, but who knows? This is my first look at the product. So one thing I like right off the bat is that the inside's pretty big. The actual controls and locking mechanism appear to take up roughly the same amount as that standard push button um, mechanical lock that many Turo hosts are used to. And overall, everything feels pretty good quality. I like the fact that this looks like it'll just automatically lock. You close it and it catches rather than having to push a button or turn a knob. Because right now with our standard mechanical lock boxes, we do occasionally find that guests just close the door and don't actually turn the knob to lock it. So even though the door is closed and the protective cover is closed, the keys are easily accessible because the guest has not locked the box. So let's close it, we hear a click, and that is locked on there. I can't really speak for the security. I honestly think that all lock boxes are a deterrent because if somebody wants to get in, they're going to get in. And then over here we have our standard window loop and hook and some nice foam padding to keep your windows safe from getting scratched. So I like the lights, which is good for picking up cars in the dark. And let's just see what happens if we plug in the wrong code. Okay, so pretty clear that you've entered the wrong code. And let's see about entering a code and then changing your mind on the numbers you've entered. Okay, so no real confirmation there. And now I'm curious, like what happens if we get the digits right, but they're not in the right sequence? Okay, so that does not work. So it is sequence dependent, which is a security improvement over the typical lock boxes that many Turo hosts are using today. All right. This is a demonstration of the FleetBold Smart Lockbox and a lockbox that I'm sure many Turo hosts are familiar with. You press in the buttons and turn the knob. So right off the bat, you will notice that the FleetBold box is bigger, but it's in a pretty smart way. It's not bulky, so they've done a good job using the space and the footprint that they've created for the product. So we're all very familiar with punching these numbers in and guests trying to figure out how to use it. Some guests seem to really struggle with it, but at this point, it's a pretty standard box that most hosts are using. So on the FleetBold box, we will enter our super secure passcode. Again, I like how the numbers light up. That will be really nice in the winter, especially in our northern states' long winters. So that'll be good. So here is a 2021 Toyota RAV4 Smart Key, a pretty typical key. Easily fits in the lockbox. Plenty of room to spare. You'll probably shove in 3 more, but it's a nice snug fit. And this key, especially in a RFID bag, which I don't have on me right now because all of our Turo vehicles are out, this key in that bag can occasionally interfere with the Superlit box's locking mechanism, and guests can have a hard time unlocking it, or the buttons will occasionally get pressed in the bag, in the box, and the key will be dead. So just quick side by side, put the key into the standard lockbox, and as you can see, it fits, but the FleetBold box is simply bigger. Here's another key, 2017 Jeep Wrangler. Fits in the lockbox no problem, easily closes. And then for comparison, we'll stick it in the standard box. So right here, I can notice right away that this box is smaller than the FleetBold box. That being said, it closes just fine. locks and all that. So overall, they are similar products. They do the same thing. I do find that so far that the FleetBold box definitely feels more modern. I actually think that it is a little more discreet on the window because it doesn't have the contours here. And we'll see how it holds up. I like the protective door, I like the branding. I'm curious how these holes do, especially in our winters, we get snow. So I'm curious to see how this box holds up in inclement weather. But overall, it feels like pretty nice quality. This flexes. That's also just a protective cover. This feels a bit sturdier. I mean, other than that, they both feel pretty well built, but yeah, I'm curious to see how this will work. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that it provides a slightly more premium guest experience and that it is easier for guests to enter the code in because as we know with this box, while it works most of the time, guests occasionally do struggle with that red clear button. They're not sure if they're supposed to press it and they're not aware that they have to press it if they've misentered the code because occasionally for some reason we find that guests will have somehow hit a number already before entering the code to unlock it and they try the code and it doesn't work and it's this big fit over Turo messages. So it'll be nice to not have that clear button and for our long dark winter nights this will be nice to have those light up buttons and just have a cleaner interface. So we'll see how well the app works out in usage. The most secure thing is to change the code every time. A lot of hosts like to change the code to the guest last 4 digits of their phone number. We don't do that. We primarily serve airport renters, and it's probably something we should do, but it's not been something we are great at. So I'm hoping that with the Smart Box, we just have it set so the codes automatically expire maybe every week, every month, and that it's just something we don't have to think about because I don't know how the codes update. Does it update when my phone goes by it? Does it update when anybody's phone connected to the account walks by it? So I'm curious, but we will stick it on one of our vehicles and test it out. But overall, I'm excited for it. I think it's a good product. I don't know much about FleetBold right now, but so far I'm excited for their products and their service offerings, and I hope they make it because it's a compelling product and set of solutions right now.